Hey, this is Jared from Gertrude. In this video, I'm going to try to show you a quick demo of what Gertrude looks like and how it works when you've got it all up and running. So on the left side of my screen here where I'm showing this phone, this is meant to represent the parent's device. The parent can use Gertrude from their phone or their computer, from an Android or an iPhone, any device that can connect to the internet. And on the right side here, we have a Mac computer, which is the protected computer of one of your children. So the Gertrude app always runs on a Mac computer to protect a child, but the parent can use whatever device they want. So first I'll show you kind of logging into the admin dashboard, and you can see a brief overview of which users. We have Susie and Huck. Susie is online right now, and a little glance of recent screenshots. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. And if we go over to the child's computer, we'll see that by default, every single thing is blocked. So I tried to go to Yahoo, didn't work. We'll go to Google, it's blocked. Facebook, every single thing is blocked. And this is kind of a core and fundamental part of how Gertrude works, and what makes it different from other apps is that we block absolutely the entire internet and require you to safe list the parts that you want your child to have access to. And we go into a lot of depth on this in our documentation, but we really believe this is the only truly safe way to protect your kids on the internet. There's many tools out there that try to block parts of the internet, like adult sites or gambling sites, but there's just too many websites, billions of them literally, and nobody can keep a list like that up to date. And so the only safe way is to kind of do it the reverse, which is to block everything and help you allow just the parts you want. And that's how Gertrude's built, and with a whole bunch of tools to make that possible. So one of the ways you can give your kid access to something is by giving them what's called a public keychain. So we'll go to our Susie user here, and I'm going to scroll down, and we'll add a keychain, and let's add one for art of problem solving. And now, as long as I save the user, if I come back to Susie's Mac and go to artofproblemsolving.com, we'll see it's unblocked. So that's, in some ways, maybe the simplest and fastest way to get part of the internet unblocked is to use kind of one of our pre-made keychains and to just add that to a user, and they'll have access to the website that it unlocks. The second way you can grant access to part of the internet, and maybe the least frequently used, is by directly creating a key. So to do this, we'll go over to our keychains and we'll edit this personal keychain we created, and we'll add a website key that allows access to the website howtotype.com. And we'll create that key. And now, again, over on Susie's Mac, if we go to howtotype.com, she has access to that. The third and most common way to grant access is actually to respond to what we call an unlock request. And it works sort of like this. Your kid tries to go to a website that they don't have access to. For lack of a better example, I'll just try to go to apple.com. We'll assume this is some sort of website that they need access to for school and that you'd be happy approving. Well, they get blocked because Gertrude blocks everything by default. And what they can do is click the Gertrude icon up here and click to view the network traffic. This shows a running list of every single network request that the Gertrude filter is blocking. And it's often full of a whole bunch of stuff like it is right now. So you can click to clear the requests out, and you can also filter them by a specific app. I'll type in Safari because that's what I'm using right now. And if I refresh this again, we'll see a whole bunch of blocks that all come from apple.com. So all I need to do is pick one of these, click the unlock icon, make an explanation, please unlock, Dad, and I can submit an unlock request. Now I can't show you this on my current video, but I just got a notification. After the unlock request is sent, it generates some kind of a notification that you set up. I've got mine set up to send me a text message, and because this is a fake phone on the left side, I can't actually receive that text message, but I'll just copy in the URL of the text message that did get sent. And it loads up like this. The unlock request from Susie saying, please unlock, Dad, and you can choose whether to accept or deny it. If you accept, you pick one of your keychains to add it to, and you get a chance to review the key that Gertrude is proposing to create for you. And when you submit, you'll see over here on Susie's computer, she got a notification saying that her unlock request was accepted. So if she refreshes this page, she now has access to apple.com. The next thing I want to show you is how Gertrude gives you visibility into seeing what your kids are doing online. And to show you this, I'll go over to Susie's user, and you'll see that I've enabled both keylogging and screenshot recording. And what this means is that whenever Susie is online and working on her computer, the Gertrude app is always running. You can see its icon up here in the background, and it is recording her screen at randomized intervals approximately at this frequency you set right here. So that means that we can go to our user and view the activity feed, and we'll see that we have 34 items, and what you can see is these are live screenshots, and if I had been typing more than just a few letters, you'd see anything that I had typed in here as well. The parent then gets to review these screenshots at any time that's convenient for them, hours, days later, and they can scroll through them looking for anything that catches their eye. Here's an example of when I typed briefly in the Safari app. And if they're okay with everything, you just click Approve All, and they disappear and they're deleted. You can also see this activity from the dashboard like I showed you originally. Some recent screenshots shown right down here for each of your users, and you can get straight to the activity from this activity widget. Let me quick point out that we don't hide this from the user at all. If they click the Gertrude icon, we're always showing them that we are recording their keystrokes and their screen. We care a lot about being transparent, and it's a big part of the safety that your child knows they're being watched and their activities being recorded. And because of that knowledge and because of your ability to review that, the final thing I'll show you is that Gertrude allows you to temporarily suspend the filter. This is really useful if your child needs to do some bit of activity on the internet that's unusual, where it wouldn't make sense for you to create a bunch of keys or to respond to unlock requests. Maybe they have a quiz that they're going to take, or they're doing a call with one of their teachers and need to click on a few links that they won't need to go back to. Suspending the filter temporarily is a great solution, and it's safe as long as you have keystrokes and screenshots being monitored. And it works like this. The user comes up to the Gertrude icon, clicks to disable the filter, gives you a reason. I am taking a quiz. They can pick an amount of time. We'll leave this at 5 minutes and submit. Once again, you get a text message or a Slack or an email depending on how you have it configured. I can't show receiving that, but I will copy the link in here. And the suspend filter request looks similar to an unlock request. We can see why they requested it, their duration. We could change this if we want. Let's say we'll only grant it for 3 minutes. And when we grant it, once again, they get a notification on their computer that the filter is disabled for 3 minutes. They can see that up here as well and resume it if they want. And during this time, they can go places where they don't normally places where they're not normally allowed. And when it's up, or when they resume it, so if we resume it now, then they're back to being completely stuck and locked out. And so that's a brief little overview of how Gertrude works. Feel free to reach out and ask us any questions or give it a trial. We have a long free trial period. Thanks a lot.